It's time for the Brouhaha Sports Show. Brouhaha Sports with award-winning sports writer Dale McKee and co-host Marshall Wood. Talking sports with the legends of the game and famous sports personalities. Brouhaha. Now to Marshall and Dale with tonight's guest.
Good evening, everyone. Brouhaha time. Marshall Wood and Dale McKee. Good evening to you, Mr. Dale. How are you today, sir?
A little chill. What about you?
I tell you what, it's cold.
Somebody let the barn door open.
I'm past chilling. I'm freezing.
That barn door was left open by somebody last night.
Who let the door open? Man, what you got going on?
Not much. I'm just trying to stay warm. What about yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah. Well, I feel sorry for those little girls and boys that are playing soccer outside.
Oh, man. Soccer time.
Soccer time.
Man.
They better be postponing them games.
Man.
That ball will be hard.
Of course, they run all the time. I guess that helps unless they go.
Yeah, but in that cold, that ball hits you. Ooh, it stings.
Does it?
It stings you, boy.
Secret's not letting it hit you, Dale.
I know.
You gotta go get it.
Gotta go. Sometimes you gotta bounce it off your head.
Yeah.
It's good for those hard-headed kids.
Yeah,
huh?
it is. It is.
Yeah.
Any exciting sports news you stumbled across? Let me ask you this. How about, we ought to just put Pete Golden and Dabo Swinney in the ring and let them just fight it out.
Dabo said 3 times during his conversation, I stay in my lane. Well, somebody got in his lane.
Yeah. You know, he's hated this transfer portal, and he's hated the idea of buying, and I get it. But
I agree with him. I mean, they need to have rules like the NFL. It's like he said, you sign with the Cleveland Browns, you practice with them for a week or two, and then all of a sudden you're going to say, hey, the Dolphins have offered me more money. And, I agree with him. I mean, of course, I like Ole Miss and I like Pete Golden, but sometimes this is going to have to stop. And, of course, Ole Miss, one of their defenses about it was, well, it's been done to us. Well, let's stop it, okay? Let's just get it stopped. You can get in the portal one time each year, okay? You can't get in the portal like this kid did twice. But I don't blame it.
Wait a minute. Did he get in the portal twice?
Yeah.
How did he get in the portal twice?
Well, he was in the portal, and Clemson signed him out of California. Okay. He signed a contract. He went to school. He's been going to school at South Carolina, at Clemson for a week. And he's also been in their team meetings for a week.
But isn't there a document that he has not signed yet?
I don't know.
There is one. And I thought you would know the name of it. I've heard it talked about this morning. There is a document that has not been completed. So we don't know enough to talk about that just yet. But
he had to re-enter the portal a second time. He went into the portal a second time. And so, I mean, that's...
But is that against the rules?
Not now, I don't guess. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know who has the rules.
Yeah.
The NCAA, I understand that, but what I'm saying is that I think that to be fair to everybody, you should know your team, most of your team, because now high school recruits are coming in next week, and it's like Dabo said, we only signed one linebacker, him.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you 100%. I understand. But if there is a document that has not been completed, then he's not, my understanding is that there's nothing going to happen because nothing was done wrong by law.
But let me ask you this. If you're calling a kid that's already at this school, already enrolled, and you tell him, get back in the portal, we'll give you $200,000 more. Yeah. I mean, that's what the deal's about.
Well, if he hasn't signed all the documentation that takes him off the market, then I got a problem with it. If he has not signed all the documentation, then I got no problem with it.
Well, I'm still understanding Clemson's deal on it. Why did they let him? They have to sign for him to get back into the portal. So why did they sign and let him back in the portal?
See, I mean, did they?
No, well, evidently they did because he went back in the portal.
Well, there you go. So they got no argument.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. They probably don't. But I'm just saying we probably need rules.
We need to do away with the portal, or just one entry per year.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
mean, that's what I'm saying. But I also want to be it stranger than this because you got 4 kids. I mean, you got kids going to 4 schools in 4 years or 5 schools in 5 years. And are they getting degrees? I think it's somewhere along the way.
What's that got to do with it? A degree?
Well, that's what I'm saying. These kids, and I did hear a horrible story about one of them. One of them's was getting like, I don't know, close to $600,000 or $700,000, and he spends every dime of it every year, and he's going from school to school. And when it's over with, he's going to have nothing. He's going to have no degree, and he's got no loyalty to anybody.
He's going to be like me.
I mean, you know, and I feel thought because, you know, the good part about college, especially sports, you get to go back to these reunions of your teammates and everything else. So these kids are going to be making a tour like of 5 different schools, seeing all their old teammates in 5 different locations, you know, but they have no loyalty to anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what concerns me. You know, I really like the old way of doing things, but I understand about the portal.
Yeah.
I think you should be able to get in the portal, but I think after say 4 years or 3 years, if you're not online to graduate, like have so many credits. I know at Southern Miss it was 120, it was 30 a year. So if you don't have at least 90 credits, you shouldn't be able to get into the transfer portal if you're not actually seeking a degree.
Yeah. Well, here you go. Take Carson Beck's story. I mean, he's down at Miami. He ain't gone to class in 2 years. Mm-hmm. I mean, why would he need to go to class? He's already got a degree. He's playing football. He can be enrolled. Why does he have to go?
Well, now the NCAA does have a rule. I remember when Eli Manning played at Ole Miss. He was a 5th-year senior. He had already graduated from Ole Miss, but he's going to graduate school. All he had to take was 1 class by the NCAA rules, and that was it. And so you know, at least have a rule like that you have to be enrolled in a class too.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
actually go to the class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a grade, you know.
Oh yeah, that's going to work. But anyway.
Well, I mean, it may not in football, but it'll work in your other sports that come after the December grades come out.
Okay.
You know, like basketball, baseball, something like that. You know, you keep them honest at least.
Keep them honest. We got a guest for tonight?
We do.
Well, who we got?
Danny P. Smith.
Danny P. Smith.
Yeah.
Okay.
He is with the Starkville Daily News.
He's been with us before, you said.
Yes, sir. He's a sports editor.
Okay. What are we going to talk about?
Well, you know, we've been kind of dominating Ole Miss for the last 2 or 3 weeks, and so because they've had such a fine football season, and people need to talk about it. But we're just going to find out what's happening in Mississippi State, basketball wise, and the recruiting, the football, and transfer portal, and we'll probably touch on baseball because that's kind of a big thing up there.
Yes, sir.
I mean, Southern Miss right now and Mississippi State, they rely on their baseball as their top sport right now.
Well, and they do it well. So let's take a break to hear from us. Thank you for that, Dale. Let's take a break to hear from a sponsor, and then we'll be back with tonight's guest, Danny Smith, right after this commercial break.
Phillips Building Supply in Laurel, your hometown building supply store since 1954. We are locally owned and pride ourselves on helping our customers find exactly what they need. From foundations to roofs to doors and windows, Phillips has it. For tools, hardware, lumber, and plywood, visit Phillips Building Supply.
Welcome to the show, Danny Smith. Danny, we know it's a little cold weather all around, but we want to talk a little sports today. Mississippi State, we've been talking about Ole Miss's football success, it seems like, for the last couple of weeks. So we want to get some information on Mississippi State. Let's just start with football. What did you think about the season? Did the Bulldogs this past football season, did they underachieve, or did you think they finished where they should have finished?
Well, you know, they got off to such a good start, albeit non-conference, when they jumped out to that 4-0 record and they upset Arizona State in second or third game, whatever it was, and things were looking up early in the season, and everybody felt like it would be a much better season. But as the season went on and the SEC started, a lot of people realized that this program still wasn't up to where it needed to be. But the win over Arkansas helped those feelings that he was finally able to get that long SEC losing streak. But, a lot of people still felt like there was a lot left in the tank, especially when you lose an overtime game to Texas that you had well in hand, and it came down to the wire against Tennessee, like you could have won that one. And the same at Florida, where you got down and you're trying to get in position for a winning field goal and you throw an interception. So those could have easily swung the other way. So underachieve may be a good word, because you felt like there were some wins left on the table that you could have gotten, but they didn't get 5 wins, and because of the APR rating, they were able to go to a bowl game when there were some opt-outs. So you feel a bit about that. Wish they could have performed better in the bowl game, but at least at the extra practices, that's good for the younger players, and they seem to have a little bit of momentum going into next season, so we'll see.
Well, listen, of course, what do you think the deficiencies are going into the 2026 season for the football team? Is it offensive line, defensive backs? I mean, what needs?
I think it's probably a combination of all three. They really couldn't protect the quarterback very well on offensive line. At times they ran the ball well. At other times they didn't. So I think they need to beef up the offensive line with some good talent, not just size and not just bringing somebody in, but some talent that can move some of these defensive linemen off the ball so they can protect and run better. And the defensive line needs to get better because they didn't have enough pressure on opposing quarterbacks. They just couldn't get enough push to really disrupt what the opponent's offenses were doing. And even though it was much improved, they still give up a lot of big plays in the passing game. So the defensive backfield needs to be improved. Now, I don't know if you're going to ask me about transfer portal or not. You probably know that, but I'm going to go ahead and say it appears that they have gotten some help in all areas. I don't know if any of these guys can play, but they have gotten 5. They started out with about 5 defensive backs out of the portal, so they hit that hard first and got those in. Then they started signing some defensive linemen and offensive linemen. So they've signed to their needs. Only they can, when they get here and start the development process, find out how good they are and if they can really help this ball club. But at least they've tried to address those areas, and we'll just have to wait and see if that's going to be the right people at the right time.
Well, Mississippi State used to be noted for their big, strong offensive and defensive linemen. And it just seemed like in the portal, when you were talking about it, it just seems like that they got a lot of size and their height-wise and weight-wise, that they got out of the portal. So maybe it'll be improved, but I worry. I think if Mississippi State were to switch schedules with somebody else in the conference, they might have won a few more ball games, because it seemed like almost an impossible task the way it was lined up for them last year.
Yeah.
And I mean, it may be again this year, because I don't know of any easy opponents in the SEC. I think, truthfully, I just think, when you're South Carolina didn't have a good year, Arkansas didn't have a good year, Florida didn't have a good year, and Mississippi State didn't have a good year. But that can change, it seems like, overnight, especially with Indiana's success here as of late.
Right.
And things of that nature. Listen, and not getting into an Ole Miss battle or anything like that, but we were talking about the first segment of the show. We were talking about the Clemson Ole Miss feud over a linebacker. What is your take? Not necessarily on that, because I don't know if there's any rules to stop it right now, but why do you think they allow a student athlete to get in the transfer portal twice in the same portal year? I mean, in the same portal session, as they say, in the January session.
Well, I don't know the why, but the way this whole thing is set up, it doesn't permit it. I mean, they don't have a rule say that it can't happen. So I guess as long as you can transfer, there's no rule that say you can't transfer twice. And to my knowledge, there's no rule to say you can't transfer twice in the same portal season. I guess you could order the portal as many times as you want to, as long as there's no restrictions. So not really knowing all of the rules and regulations of said portal, I don't know if there's anything to keep them from doing that.
It seems like they just said, okay, here's a whole bunch of stuff you can do now. Just go do it, and we'll see what happens.
It's mass chaos is what it is. Mass chaos.
It just seems bad.
And free for all.
Yeah. All right, okay. Do the basketball teams look like they might make the NCAA tournament this year, or it's still too early to tell?
The women, thanks to the women's non-conference schedule, they had a good enough non-conference record to really be in the hunt for that. They kind of stumbled a few times with the SEC, got them a big win at home against. They had a good effort against Vanderbilt, came up just short, and then came back and were able to play well. And they knocked off a ranked Kentucky team at home. But yesterday we saw that they competed well again against a 25 team at Alabama and lost a 6-7 point game. I can't remember the exact point spread it was. So they're playing better than they were. Still, you're playing top 25 teams just about every night now in the SEC. But I think if they can somehow break even in the conference, and right now they're below that mark, with some games coming up that I would consider winnable, I think they can make the NCAA tournament. Now, as far as the men goes, it's going to be a much steeper hill to climb. Right now, their record is 10 wins and 10 losses, and something like 2-5. They won their first 2 SEC games, and now they've got a 5-game losing streak after losing really, really badly to Vanderbilt on Saturday. So they've got a lot of work to do if they're going to make the NCAA tournament for the 4th time under Chris Jans, and it's just been a struggle for them to be able to stay in games. There's been some games where they've started out strong and let up at the end, but Saturday it was just bad all the way through. They just did not compete at all, and they couldn't shoot well. They had 17 turnovers, and Vanderbilt took advantage of it. And once Vanderbilt gets on a roll, they're really good. So it's looking okay for the women, but not very good for the men, unfortunately.
Yeah, I saw one here about a week or so ago that I think the Vanderbilt women, when I read the article, they were undefeated, and the men had only lost 1 game this year. So Vanderbilt's having a great sports.
Vanderbilt's much better, yeah, in men and women. They sure are.
Yeah, in football, and of course they all are in baseball. So they may be one of these new breeds of Indiana coming in, because they got to find academic institution.
Yeah,
and Nashville seems
they've
like
got a
to
lot
me
of momentum in their athletic department right now.
Yeah, so Nashville would seem like to be a better place to live than a lot of these campuses in the SEC for sure.
Yes, I would think so. Maybe not right now with all the snow and ice, but everybody's got it.
That's true. That's true. That's okay. All right. Well, let's get into something.
But
that
most of the time, you're right.
Yeah. Well, I think most of the Bulldogs, and we were talking again on that first segment, where I think Southern Miss and Mississippi State right now are depending on our baseball team for great things to happen at both institutions based on what the other sports are doing right now. But do you think that Mississippi State, because I've seen them ranked as high as 3rd in collegiate baseball, I believe it was, do you think they are deserving of that ranking coming off last year's team?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know. I'm always kind of nervous or apprehensive preseason polls, because you just never know until they can start playing the game exactly how good they really are. And even maybe 2, 3, 4 weeks into the season before you hit conference play, you might still not know very much because of all the matchups and what the coaches are trying to do really with their lineups. But, I feel like Mississippi State has a chance to be really, really good. They brought in a Hall of Fame coach, Coach O'Connor, and it seems like he brought in a lot of talent out of from the transfer portal, and had a lot of kids stay, like Noah Sullivan, Bryce Chance, Ace Reese, and a few pitchers, and to go with it. So I feel like, until you throw them out there and see them play, you just never really know. But I think all the tools are in place to really have a good season.
Well, the SEC, like you said, it's like a weekend grind for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Every time you go, I don't care where you go in the SEC, you kind of you're just hoping to. I assume when you go on the road, you're wanting at least one win, and you hopefully get at least 2 wins at home. At least you got a chance to make the tournament if you break even in the conference. Because, like you said, a lot of them have. I'm not saying any team, whether it's Ole Miss State or Southern Miss, they seem to win more than they lose in the non-conference deal. And of course, this year down this way, I noticed that that Southern Miss has Alabama, Mississippi State, and Ole Miss coming in back Tuesdays, 3 Tuesdays, one at the end of February and 2 in March, and so that's always good for the state, especially in the southern part of the state, to see that good thing.
Right.
And of course, Mississippi State's coming to Biloxi too. I think maybe on the March the 10th to play maybe Nicholls State or someone like that. I can't remember the exact opponent, but you're right. But so that's always a good opportunity for the fans down in our area to watch some really good college teams. I interviewed Ace last year at the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame when they were giving out the Boo Ferris Award. And he just seemed like a great kid. He told me he's from over in Texas, Canton, Texas. And he just seemed like a heck of a ball player, the way they described him, because he was up for the honor last year for the Boo Ferris Award. So, anyway. True. But
I tell you what, no matter what the talent looks like, they always recruit good kids. And I haven't dealt with many MSU ball players that didn't have just great character and held themselves up really well.
Hey, Danny, this is Marshall. In our little pre-game little introduction there, I told you I'd show up at some time and say we're out of time. Well, here I am. Listen, we appreciate you.
Okay.
Yeah, we appreciate you for taking time. Yes, sir. Got to appreciate the clock. Appreciate you taking time to be with us. Going to ask you to hold on for just a second. Dale and I are going to take a break to hear from one of our sponsors, and we'll be back with tonight's final segment of the Brouhaha right after this commercial break.
Phillips Building Supply in Laurel, your hometown building supply store since 1954. We are locally owned and pride ourselves on helping our customers find exactly what they need. From foundations to roofs to doors and windows, Phillips has it. For tools, hardware, lumber, and plywood, visit Phillips Building Supply.
Well, we're about ready to wrap up another edition of the Brouhaha, Dale. We've covered some things. Got some Mississippi State stuff on here, man. We got a real good interview there with our guest tonight, Danny. We appreciate him, and we've had him on before, I think you said.
Yeah. He talked to us, I think, about last basketball season.
Yeah.
Maybe. Anyway, Danny's been up Starkville Daily News ever since I've known him.
That's been a long time.
So, yeah, I talked to him at great length over there this year at the state championship games in Starkville. He was up there covering, state championship teams, and they have a lot of northern Mississippi teams up there in the playoffs this year. And so, anyway.
Hey, we got the Super Bowl set.
We do,
don't we?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think?
Well, I think right now I would give the nod to Seattle. Well, who would you give it to?
I can't argue with that. Who else is in it?
Well, New England's in it, but
they won't go away, will they?
No, I mean, I think the coach did a good job. He brought some good guys in, and honestly, the Patriots are probably a well-oiled organization. I mean, they haven't forgot how to win. They know how to win.
Yeah.
And they just got the right fit this year, finally. It was tough trying to replace Belichick.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be faced with it. He probably needed to be, did. But listen, let me ask you a question. Why, if Belichick is one of the greatest coaches in NFL history, they had 9 head coaching opportunities this year, and no one reached out to him? I'm just asking you that question.
We run our course, Dale. Are you as good as you used to be?
Probably not.
I mean, he's old. I mean, hey, it matters. I mean, I'll be 70 this year.
Really?
And it matters.
Well, he's got a young wife. It seems.
Well,
like
that's all more reason that he can't do it. I mean,
Well, I mean,
he's got other interests.
He's just got a big.
He's got diminished capacity and additional interest.
Okay.
How about that? You need me to elaborate that on
no, that's your opinion. But I'm just saying, why didn't somebody reach out to him and just say, "Hey, we'd like to talk to you"?
From his performance, it looks like they did a good job by not reaching out.
That's true too. But
would you want him?
Well, I mean, but people keep saying he's a great. I mean,
he was
to me the most overlooked, really good coach back in the NFL days that's never mentioned anymore was Chuck Noll.
Never heard of him. No. Not mentioned. How many Super Bowls did he win?
4, but he's hardly ever mentioned. I mean, you hear Shula, you hear what's that guy in Green Bay, Lombardi, or somebody heard it.
Well, Shula's nice and pretty down there in Miami.
Who's the guy? Tom Landry.
Tom Landry with his hat in Dallas. I mean, these guys are good. But you got Chuck Noll in Pittsburgh. I mean, come on. I mean, he's not as shiny. I mean, that's a blue collar guy. He's not sitting out here waving flags and wearing hats and being cute down there in Miami. He's up there working in the steel mills, getting these guys on the field, being nasty and mean and tough. He's a blue collar coach, man.
Boy, I tell you what, I was watching a documentary on him recently, and him and that Jerry Glanville. Oh my goodness. I think they were bleeping it, but I think Noah was telling Jerry, "I'm gonna whip your butt."
Glanville was a man. He was a big knucklehead.
Oh yeah,
wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He told somebody. He said, "How's Brett Favre doing?" Brett was drafted by Atlanta to start with, and he was coaching up there. And Glanville said, "Well, he's our backup punter." Favre said he never forgot that.
Where is Glenn? Is he still alive?
I don't know.
Don't know.
No, might have took him out.
I tell you what, speaking of taking out, we're out of time. We want to again thank Danny Smith for being with us this week, and thank you out there. Yeah, I'm talking to you for listening. We appreciate you being with us. Remember that you can keep up with us during the week on our Facebook page at the Brouhaha, and also we catalog all the shows where you can listen to them on demand at our YouTube channel, which is also the Brouhaha. But for now, it's time to say goodbye, Dale. Come on in here.
Already?
Goodbye, Dale. Goodbye, everybody, and y'all have a great week, and we'll see you next week for more of the Brouhaha. Get us out of here, Jamie.
You've been listening to the Brouhaha with Del McKee and Marshall Wood. Heard Tuesday evening, 6 p.m. on WABO. For more of the Brouhaha, follow us during the week on Facebook and WABO.